Why is the jury laughing?
Zero chance of winning the game.
Supposed to talk glamour to you.
My grandmother's sitting home watching Jerry Springer.
Lee, is there any way I could have your jacket?
Welcome back to Survivor Breakfast. We're talking season 45, episode 10. We've missed all you viewers dearly after a few more weeks of sabbatical and bad scheduling.
Do apologize. Do apologize.
Yeah. Mostly my fault, to be honest with you. I'm missing a lot of weeks.
Oh, it works a bugaboo for all three of us. So we do apologize to all those loyal listeners out there. So we are back though. We are back and better than ever.
That one before, but all right, boys. This was a pretty exciting episode. There was a lot of stuff going on. I mean, we're getting towards the end of the show. This was final 8 this week, and now we're at final 7 after our good friend and loyal Survivor player Bruce has finally left us.
Yeah. I ended up carving out a piece of my heart for Bruce the last couple weeks, to be quite honest with you. I'm going to come into this discussion with a bit of frustration, just because it's not the fault of this Reba 4, but it's Reba 2, right? Was the retro. They're just a force to be reckoned with, and unfortunately, I'm going to go at one of our very loyal listeners who. GR, who spoke on a couple weeks back, saying that Katurah we shouldn't write her off completely. I really don't understand what she's doing out there. Jake's at fault as well. Maybe Katurah thinks that she's in a role that Emily's in, which is fine. But this is an unbreakable 4 right now, and they're just being given things week after week after week. This whole thing of putting Bruce on a pedestal that he needed to get gone. Utilize this guy. I just think it's poor play surrounding this big, conglomerate of a global
I get it.
Orbit. You're saying solar system or somewhat.
This was sort of a pivotal vote for a lot of key players in the middle.
It's been the last couple weeks.
But with the numbers that they had this week, plus the split vote as it were, right, as it happened, the fact that everybody knew that Reba 4 were splitting votes, and there were 4 people who know they're not in the Reba 4, and it's very out in the open that way. It seemed like a missed opportunity. I think it seemed like a very clear missed opportunity.
Here's the thing, though. I don't think that Emily was ever gonna really go for that.
But why?
Yeah, exactly. That's why. Yeah, exactly.
I hear what you're saying, totally, and I think that could have been great. But I do think, and this is getting ahead of ourselves, I think this is a great week for Emily.
That I honestly think is the crux of this conversation, because as much as I want to agree with you that on paper she got what she wanted and it went well, I think she missed an opportunity, and she saw a move and took that move when she could have made a bigger move. Because in reality, I fully give Emily credit for calming Bruce down and giving him a logical plan that made sense. But I almost think that the fact that Bruce was so willing to not play his idol was because the plan made so much sense for Emily to do, and she didn't do it.
I agree with you. Let me plead my case here.
Okay, you go, then I'll come back.
Yes, and I would love for you to poke holes in this, because right now it feels really good to me. So I hear what you're saying, that the argument that Emily gave up a bigger move for a smaller move, and that bigger move would have broken up this unbeatable alliance.
Wait, explain the smaller move.
The smaller move is getting rid of Bruce.
Convincing Bruce not to play the idol, whereas the bigger move would to actually just be doing the thing and get out Mama J.
I think it's
or somebody in that foursome.
Wait, Kale, let him
Yeah,
give his.
I think laying claim to this Bruce not playing the idol, I think it's so minuscule, but like it's very not.
I don't think that's that.
I don't want to
minuscule.
get derailed
I think
here.
that's something.
Simi,
Go ahead.
let's assume it's her move because I tend to think the same way, and that she'll be able to articulate that
I
if
think
she
Kale
were.
thinks it's her move. It's just not that big.
Sure,
which
fine.
It's not a
I agree
move.
with
That's
that.
not a move. I mean, it's a piece of playing a social game. It's not a move.
Well,
I
it's
think
convincing
the-
someone. It's leveraging social capital and lying to someone in
It's
order for them to
again. It's
make
the
an
social
error.
part of Survivor. It's not a move.
It's a move. It's a move.
In the new age, Kale, I think this is a move. Regardless,
Go.
Toast, the reason why I think that this is actually better is because I don't believe, and I don't think Emily believes, that this foursome of Emily, Jake, Katora, and Bruce would ever be able to realistically continue the strength of these four. Do you know what I mean?
So
like she already knows that they have a really tough time working together. Like it was enough to even try to get them to vote for Mama J when it should have been like a no-brainer. Like they had to work for it. And so I think what she's thinking is, it's like, sure, we get that other four down to 3, and we're now a 4, but can I trust on this 4 to go one more week together? And then on top of that, what I'm thinking a little bit, if I'm Emily, is this is about the time where it should be a lot easier for me to convince this core 4 that stuff needs to start happening. Maybe not next week, but the week after, definitely.
Which core
Right?
4? The Reba 4?
The Reba core 4.
But they're already content with where they are.
Here's the thing, though,
That's the
that
issue.
cannot last.
But
That cannot last.
But now here's the thing, Simi. It doesn't matter how you want to shake it up. This is I'm gonna come back at you, and if you had more points, I don't want to take away from it. But
no, I mean that's basically it. I think that 4 that she would create by going after Mama J, there's no way they realistically stick
but
together.
the real question that you need to be asking is,
And they would need
who does Emily win against right now? Does Emily have a shot going up against Drew and Austin in a final 3? The best case scenario that you're articulating right now is that she's able to get all the way down to 5 and then talk to Austin and Drew and say, I've been your guy. I've been your man behind the lines. I'm the person that you're going to come in and use right now to get rid of Dee and Julie. And it's going to be the 3 of us going to the end. And that's where she's sort of she's put all of her eggs into that basket, and I don't know if that's a winning basket. So what she could have done,
I don't think it's that unreasonable though for her to not go to the end with any of them.
I
Once they start
actually
turning on each other, who are they going to turn to but Emily?
no,
I
but,
actually-
but if you're going to the final 3 with any iteration, any combination of the Reba 4, where it's just you and 2 other Rebas, they're gonna just pick apart your game and say, "We got you here."
so that part I disagree with from the standpoint of how it's being portrayed. It's like she's getting a very enduring, big growth story painted from an edit perspective.
I agree wholeheartedly. I don't take that
So
away.
I again, unfortunately, it might come down to a vote where she is up against 2 Rebas that have a split vote, and they like Emily's story of the growth of coming from beyond one of probably the most dysfunctional pre-merge tribes of all time, and she slid through all the way and made it through all of that adversity to get to the end. The problem is, for my sake, is that again, I think we're gonna be left with a Gabler situation where it's just like what happens here?
So this is beautiful. This is beautiful that you brought that up, because the picture that I'm trying to paint is, pretend this is Cassidy with 8 people left, and Cassidy is Emily, and instead of doing what Cassidy did and having the jury basically just say, you just lasted till the end and you're going to try to take credit for everything that we did. What if Emily actually turned it on them right now and said, I've been working with the Reba this entire time, but I took the group of ragtags and I actually overturned
1
the
million
castle.
percent. Everything you're saying is how I would have played. That's how I would have played this weeks ago. To be quite honest with you.
But okay, weeks ago aside, which I'm not against. Right now, we're in a position where the numbers were right in front of her. The numbers were laid out to us
I
and
agree.
her.
I agree. So I don't know why I'm even playing devil's advocate myself now, but I honestly think that this when you just said ragtag 3, they were beyond dysfunctional. I honestly
they
think
were.
that
I just don't know
Which is
you
what
do
Simi
next
was
week
saying. But
with that group.
what?
Katura has been, I don't know what she's doing. Katura, I have no idea what she's doing.
She's flipped groups like every week.
She hasn't even set a line in the sand. I don't know what she's doing. It made all the sense in the world for her to play with Bruce. Bruce going through the lying thing again had sent Jake out on a spiral because he lied to Jake again. So it's so hard to rally those 3, to be honest.
It's
tonight.
very hard, but it would be a testament to that person who would be able
doubt,
to.
Toast. No doubt.
My worry, Toast, though, is you make that move, you vote out Mama J, and then the group of 4 that you're with is so dysfunctional that it's not that hard to get out Emily the next week.
But it does.
I don't think that's an unreasonable possibility.
No. I'd almost say that they could turn right against each other on a dime again. To be quite honest with you.
Exactly. You just thin them. I agree with Kale.
This is if the better move was to make a move tonight, Sim. I think it's undeniable, specifically because Sim, Austin and D look like they're about to hook up on the island. For all I know,
they
right
are.
now, they
are.
look like
they're taking a lot of
dead honest. So really, the split right there is trying to get a split between those two because Austin and Drew are connected at the hip.
Yeah.
So where is the line in the sand? How she's so smart to spin those guys into something different?
Wait. Sorry. What is your question exactly?
I'm saying, if not this week,
How is
using
she
the
gonna
numbers
get rid of-
outside, I don't know how she's going to do this at all.
Because because I don't think it's that hard to get out the rest of Reba now.
How?
And have
What are you talking
Final Four
about?
and then-
Every single all this entire Reba core 4 right now is untouchable.
Yeah.
Reba,
Unless they
okay.
implode by their own self.
They
I
have
think
2
they
idols.
They have 2 idols. They have a relationship brewing. They have 2 guys who both think that they
I
could
think
beat
the
each
relationship
other.
brewing is really bad for them.
What'd you say?
I think the relationship brewing is really bad for them.
I mean,
Because that's the easiest thing in the world for you to. Drew and Mama J have to flip on the other side.
That is okay. So that's the only route, and I don't
fine.
I don't see.
But Simi, you have to admit that you can't be arguing. You can't be arguing right now that the Reba 4 are in anything but a phenomenal position right now.
They are in a great position, but I think that because they are in such a good position that they're all going to come to the conclusion at the same time. Now's the time for me to go for the other.
But what I think is that Drew and Austin both believe that they can beat one another. It's the same thing as Dom and Wendell. It's like these 2 powerhouses are willing to go to the end or as far to the end as possible because they both think that they can beat the other person. That's great for the 2 of them and it's good for their alliance, but it's not great for anyone on the outside that wants to turn them against one another. Because I think Drew thinks he could beat Austin. I think Austin thinks he could beat Drew. And I don't think that they're willing to sever ties with one another to get rid of that person in order to have a better chance at winning if they already think they can win.
I think the relationship is so important to this conversation, though, that we think is brewing. Because that is the exact in that anybody needs to go to Drew and say, look, I know that you think that you and Austin are going to the end together. But look at what's happening with.
But there's still one more spot.
I agree, Sim, and I'll even point to the edit tonight of the crying situation that Drew and Mama J were having. So there's a path to what you're saying. The problem, the problem is that
it's too much
Drew. If Drew's gonna pick a battle, with Austin, Drew's accepting that I'm picking a battle against someone that has 2 idols. I don't have the idols. He has the 2 idols.
And that's why he needs to do it earlier rather than.
Tim, I don't even think it's. I don't think he can even now.
I don't think he can. I think it's like it's a
I mean,
foregone conclusion.
I'm not saying that that's not unlikely. I just think that this wasn't as bad as an option as you guys think. I truly believe that if Emily had gone and got Mama J out, there is a huge possibility that she goes home next week.
I think it's the safe option. I don't think it's poor gameplay I don't think it's like. Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily poor
I just think
gameplay.
those two options are much closer than you guys are making them.
But
out to
Simi,
be.
look at it from a numbers
Sim,
perspective.
I just don't think there's a path. Sim.
All you need to look at is see Emily say, okay, we got Julie out, right? Now we have Austin with 2 idols, we have Drew with the safety without power, and we have D. And everybody now realizes the Reba group is vulnerable. They, regardless of whether or not they can work with one another cohesively, they all have the same self-interest of being like, they're powerhouses, we shouldn't want to be with them. At least I think that they've all come to that conclusion. That's my one big assumption, is that they all think that those people can win the game. I think everybody on the island has said that D is going to win the game. So I don't think that there's any speculation there. But Austin and Drew are connected to D. So let's just have the assumption that if everyone were playing in their own self-interest without having to interact with other people, they would all be like, we got to get rid of these people, right? There's 4 of them and now there's 3. And even if
Sim, there also hasn't been an ounce of them saying for one time that it's time to spin. Like, it hasn't even crossed their brains yet.
I think it could have crossed their brains. I think
No, it has not been. It literally has not for a second been shown yet that they're ready to go against each other yet.
I know, but if I'm editing this season, I'm not gonna be foreshadowing that for 3 weeks. I'm gonna pull it up.
I think you absolutely would be if it's going to happen. I think
how, because they're trying to tell the story of a strong time and then suddenly it cracks.
Simi, give me an argument right now. Give me an argument right now that says that Emily is not a final 3 loser right now. Like, tell me how Emily wins this game.
Look, I don't know that I can say that. But Toast, I think that if she went for Mama J, there is a very real chance that she goes home the next week.
But I'm just talking about winning.
No.
That's what I was trying to argue.
No chance.
Is that going for Mama J is really puts you in the line of fire for the next week, because you're with a 4.
Sim, you could so easily put that on the shoulders of Bruce, who would gladly trounce around saying that he was the one that pioneered that
He was going to play his idol. I didn't know what to do. I mean, I don't know. You can get around it in multiple ways. But Simi, I'm saying, what is Emily's path to victory? If we're playing this game to win this game, what is her path?
I'm not saying that one is a path to victory over the other. I'm saying,
but what are we talking about then? Because the goal of the game is to win the game. So how is Emily's move that makes it so that she gets to be in the final 3 and loses better than the move where she could have taken 3 people?
I'm saying
to the
that
end?
I think if she goes for Mama J, she dies sooner.
Yes, that's what he's saying. But Sim,
I get that.
You're leaving yourself the tiniest of margin now to make a move.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a game. You're drawing dead. It's like you're making a better hand, but you're giving your opponent a better hand than you. It doesn't matter if your hand is nice. If the other hand is better, you're losing at the finals.
Okay. You want to hear a path is next week you use the relationship thing to play off of Drew to get him to flip on the alliance. And you're playing the middleman here. You take out one of them. Then you take out the other one by flipping to the other side as Emily. Because who are they going to work with? They're not going to work with Bruce. They're not going to work with Katora. And then there's one of them left in the final 4, and no one's taking them to the final.
There hasn't been an ounce
harder to
of
do
crack.
that. This episode showed how to do it. Like, what, Simi, all I'm saying is that what you're saying is it's not like it's contrived. I'm not saying that's not a possible outcome. I'm saying that in this episode, we were given the blueprint where they were splitting votes in a way in which Emily could have exploited that to get rid of somebody in a group of 4 majority or plurality that worked together better than the other group of 4. And the blueprint was put out in front of everyone.
The best Survivor players take advantage of this numerical anomaly that comes up every season potentially.
I understand. What I'm saying though is, if you do that, I think there is I don't think you guys are acknowledging that there is a real path to you just getting voted out the next.
I understand. I understand your point, but Sim, then I don't know what the world of Survivor we're living in.
That's what I'm saying.
If it's just get by and do nothing.
That's what I'm saying. If we're talking about Emily as a true contender to win this game, that was the move to take.
Yeah,
I'm not judging people's moves based on how well they are at getting to the next week. I'm looking at it as, is it a big move that she could tout on her resume that shows that she should win the game? The move that she made tonight was a lackluster
I'm going to be honest. This
move
goes back.
relative
This
to
goes
that.
back to what I said. This goes back to what I said when we opened. I said this is not a move to me that has any
It's a move.
merit.
It is a move.
But honestly, at this point right now, if Sim ends up being correct in his prognosis here, and this is her resume stating move that she says and the edit portrays, this is weak. This is fucking weak. This
weak,
sucks.
But it's also weak if it ends up being the argument that she poses with Austin and Drew next to her on her left and her right.
But I can't. So I will admit to that point, Toast, she could win that. Like there could be some stupid shit where she has like a ton of growth.
You think she can win against
if
Austin
they had
and
some
Drew?
split votes? It could be a real scenario where it's like 4-2.
It's just Laurel 2.0. I mean, what'd you say?
No, I don't think it's Laurel 2.0, and I think Cassidy is the antithesis of like Cassidy had beef with people. Like Cassidy
Agreed.
was like
But what I
everybody
mean-
seems to be growing to have a very big liking of Emily.
I agree with that, but all I meant in when I made the Cassidy comparison, I just meant that right now you have the opportunity to
make that move.
To make a move so that the alliance that you end up voting out, like Cassidy did, right, can't say that they drag you there. They can't say, "Oh, you're just trying to claim our moves." It's not Austin's move that Emily voted Austin out. He can't lay claim to that, right? Like the way that Carla basically said, everything that you're saying is what I said. I planned this. I did all these things. If Emily made that move now, she can avoid that whole thing.
I get what you're saying, but Emily's story is gonna date back to the pre-merge where none of them can talk about the pre-merge.
I'm not taking away from her story. I think she has a great story.
No,
I think she's gonna show up.
That's the problem. Like I don't mean to be a negative Nelly, but Survivor could be fucking broken.
To be clear, though, I want to be clear about my stance. I'm not arguing that I think that she's like my winner pick.
No, I know you're not saying
that.
that.
Sim, you came on here. You said this is a fantastic episode for Emily. That was your stance.
I do think that this was a good episode for Emily.
Yeah, I think
it could have been better.
I don't think her odds were better before this week. Is that what you think?
Yes.
I
Before
think
this week concluded? Yes.
You think before?
I think
no. Before this week, you think her odds of winning were better?
Well, her potential has kind of been limited now. She's sort of forced to differentiate.
Well, because from a numerical standpoint, she's one less.
She's given up an option.
To what Toast Poker analogy before was perfect. She still has about a 2% out. But she let the other guy get their straight.
This is what I'm saying. Would you rather lose with a full house or win with 2-pair? I'd rather win with 2-pair. I want to win. So I'm saying, like, I'd rather, if I'm Emily, go for an opportunity to actually win the game, take a chance now, take a ragtag group, and try to orchestrate something to break up a more dominant alliance and go from there.
I think what I'm arguing, Toast, and obviously you guys disagree, is that by voting out Mama J, I think you are putting yourself in the scenario to lose with a full house. You have made the great move, but that you get voted out because of it. That's why I think that these two choices were actually much closer.
Yeah, but Sim, you have to acknowledge that she may have lost her chance to make an actual move.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
At all, because look, I know that you guys do not think that Reba's ever. I think these are all smart players in Reba. They know they don't want to go with other Reba people.
Sure, but even
but Sim, how does Emily lay claim? How does Emily lay claim to that move of that flip flop other than the Reba people?
Exactly. If Reba implodes on itself, Emily doesn't lay claim to Reba's implosion.
I think she can if she plays an integral role in that.
But
implosion.
but
how? What?
But what is that? What does that look
Austin
like?
has the idols to do it. Austin has the idols to do it. Emily doesn't have the idols to do it.
Yeah, and if you could get Austin to fucking, we're so deep in speculation land though, like.
But that's the problem, Sim, is that like
Well,
we're
you-
deep in
you-
speculation to try to find some path for Emily now. That's the problem.
Look,
Yeah, exactly.
the thing that I am trying to argue that I've said 3 times now is these options are much closer than you guys are arguing. I am not saying that she is my winner pick.
No, but I'm not saying that you're supposed to say that she is. All I'm saying is that if you're talking about ranking moves based on how good they are, they need to have some sort of goal or outcome. If I'm looking at what the moves mean and ranking them as close or one is much better than the other, it all has to do with odds of winning the game. The move that she
And if one
made.
of the moves you think you are much more likely to get voted out.
But Simi, I don't care about that. What I'm saying is I don't care about that. I'm saying that if you
Talking about
because
you don't care if you're
because
get voted out.
yes, because I'd rather make a move that I have a higher percent chance of getting voted out the next week, but have an overwhelmingly higher chance of winning the game if I get there, than to have a 0% chance of winning the game but get to the final 3. I don't care about that. That's not a good move.
The proportions of what you just said is where we're not lining up here. But
Exactly. Cindy's saying
but-
it's closer. I'm making it exaggerated to the other
Correct.
extreme.
But this is
But-
this is what I want to ask you, Sim. Is that rank these final 7 for me, though,
Rank the final 7.
for best chance to win the game.
God. I mean, it's hard for me to do this because Drew has been my pick this whole time. And he probably continues to be my pick, even though Austin has the 2 idols.
Austin has not had a winner edit in my mind. He's had a
I
fine.
don't
He's
think
had
so
a
either.
fine edit, but it.
I think this relationship thing is gonna essentially like eat his 2 idols. I think it's. I think
Yeah.
that's.
Sim. That's the one. That's the one thing that we gotta. There is almost no scenario where 2 idols go like useless. Like there's one of these 2 is gonna do something. Like.
I don't think they're useless, but I think it's not unreasonable for them to get flushed in some way.
Can you rank the players? I want to hear.
God, I am going to put Drew first.
Okay.
It's fine. Yeah.
I'm going to put Austin second because of all the advantages. I'm gonna put. I think Mama J ahead of D.
Okay. I disagree.
Why? Okay.
Well, I either way, my big problem is you just listed the Reba 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
And you haven't said Emily.
Guys, I've said this 6. How many times can I say?
But then
this?
it's not
I
a
don't
good
think-
move.
That this is a bad
That is not a
episode.
good
This is a
move.
bad episode then because
That's the point.
if you
That is
come
the
away
point.
from this episode and
Okay,
Emily
so
is in
if
your
you
bottom
come
half of your 7 players, this is a bad episode
Yeah,
for Emily.
Exactly.
Sorry.
That
I
is
wanna
the
get this
crux
clear.
of it.
I wanna get this clear. I want to get this clear. So that means if I think somebody won't win the game, I can't ever talk about moves that they make.
There
as good
was
or bad?
no move.
No, but Simi, the point
No, there
the
was,
point that
John.
he's trying to make is that if Emily, you just named 4 people that Emily could have targeted but did not target, and you're saying she made a good move. But she's below all 4 of those people that you just listed. And could have gotten one of them out.
So she would have been
So
4th
that-
at the very least.
So that's a bad move. Come on, you have to like I don't understand. You have-
Okay, that one got me a little bit.
yeah,
that one
because
did get me a little bit.
we don't have to argue for the sake of argument. You could agree. Like you have a path right now to agree.
I still
No,
think you guys have-
listen. I'll play.
I think
I'll
you guys
play
need to move
devil's.
it into my
I'll play
direction
devil's
then,
advocate
and-
here, Toast. There's still Emily still might. I'm gonna be honest.
Is?
Might have still the best edit of the show so far.
She has a great edit, but it could be like
She's
a,
got such a
it
good
could be like
story,
a
though.
fallen
I think she's
hero,
good.
villain turned hero.
She's gonna get a good edit regardless of if she wins, makes final 3 or not. Like she's had such a good story that it's like they're not gonna not tell that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but she's had a better edit. I think the next best edit has been Drew. In all honesty,
I think Drew's gotten the best.
but I think
edit.
I think it's those. No, I think Emily's honestly.
Well,
I think Emily's at the top, which is what again is it leaves you in a confusing situation. But I guess we were in that situation, last season as well.
I guess it's weird because like from my point of view, from my point of view, I'm like I think Drew's edit is way better, but I could see how Emily's edit is actually better from like a
protagonist.
Yeah.
But yeah. I just think like no, like the only person to ever say fucking huge fly. Oh my god. Massive. I hate that it's in my room.
It's gonna get you.
It's gonna land on me while I'm sleeping. I just think Drew's done such a good job of sitting behind the rest of that alliance. Like nobody ever says his name. Jake's the only person who said his name because he was like annoyed. He was like upset that he was saying his. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody ever brings up.
Listen, I really hate to do this, but I think Katura's fucking up everything for everybody here. Like I like.
She just has no consistency.
Like that Reba 4 has to be most happy with Katura, to be quite honest with you. She's making it the easiest for all of them.
But you could say that Emily is doing the same thing.
No, Emily's doing the same thing, but and again, this might be the fault of the edit, so we're not. But I think Emily's doing this in a more crafty way.
Emily has more, to gain from it than.
Well, and it's not only that, but Emily's been telling us. She tested the waters. I think it was a week or two ago. She was like testing Drew to see, how breakable is this Reba 4? Which at that point in time she learned it was unbreakable. Sim, it was 2 weeks ago. She already knew
last
it was
week
unbreakable.
She brought up D.
What?
And they were like, no.
Yeah, exactly. So like, she's testing.
That was last week.
She's testing the waters a little bit. Katura, I quite honestly have no idea.
It just doesn't seem like Katura is trying anything. Like she's not particularly like.
But here's my problem, and I can't fault the Reba 4, but I'm getting closer to this being a bottom half season, to be quite honest with you. That's where I'm at.
I mean, dude, we had 2 quitters. Like that's hard to come back.
I understand that, but there was still a chance because it happened early, and like.
You're just saying it's becoming like a little bit lopsided. Like it's very much one-sided. It's like it's a Reba 4
which doesn't necessarily make it bad, and I can't fault these guys for doing it. But it's just like then we're stockpiling idols that are never being played. Like it's just brutal.
No, I mean, but that's what makes like the Kelly Blindside like the best episode of the season by far. That she represented a solid other option on the opposite side of this field.
Of course.
That was like something that was viable, and like it's almost like having like the semifinal game be more interesting than the finals. You know what I mean? Like when that matchup is more interesting than the finals, it's kind of a problem.
No, that's another good. Hit it on the head with another analogy. Good job tonight. But the problem is that to elaborate on that further, it's like it's March Madness. Yeah, the semifinal was great, but the first, second, and third round sucked. So and as well as the championship game. So
exactly.
It's just like, what are we doing here? It's I hate being.
I still think there could be some fireworks with Reba. I know you guys disagree.
No, I don't disagree. Something has to happen. Something has to happen.
It's all gonna be contained within itself. Meaning like the downfall of the Reba 4 is gonna come from somebody within the Reba 4, which means that they're still dictating the path of this game. And that's fine if you're into that. Like if you want someone from the Reba 4 to win.
I'm gonna get this fucking thing.
I personally have nothing against them. I think that they are the better players in this game. Like I think Austin is like doing his best. I don't think he's particularly.
I think Austin's fantastically playing.
I don't think he's like for me. He's not my cup of tea with everything that he does. Like I think he's a good player, but he's like. Whatever we're being shown from him is like more of like a sidekick in my mind to Drew, even though he's the one that's holding the arsenal.
I wouldn't say the edit. He's making the better plays.
But it seems like Drew is the mind of it. You got it. You got the fly. There it is.
I got him.
That's a big
I
fly.
can concentrate.
Look at that thing.
We got we got all
Um,
the trees. We're in
I
the
just think-
woods.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree with what you guys are saying. I think Drew's doing a lot better job of managing his threat level, though.
Yeah.
No, I first no. There's
I don't
Drew has
get-
managed his threat level more than Austin. When has Austin's name been said?
I mean, if
I just think he has a lot more eyes on him with
Austin's name has not been said fucking
So-
once.
so interestingly, like I mean, maybe even whatever. Just like.
And
for the fun
Austin
of it.
had the amulet when they could have been saying, "Oh,
This
he's the
is-
guy to get rid of."
If they had said, instead of saying Mama J as the person to target, if someone said Austin and Emily was like kind of down for that, and they pulled a move where they got Austin tonight, that would be pretty sick. That would be a sick
God.
episode.
To get rid of
that was-
fucking two idols.
Two idols. Yeah, it'd be like James.
I mean,
and
that's
China.
Survivor fucking
Yeah, that's-
orgasm. Like
yeah,
that's fucking crazy.
They could have done it. They could have done it.
Yeah. Well,
That's
here's
what
the
I'm
thing.
saying.
Here's the thing. Again, I don't. I and the reason I wanted to play devil's advocate on Sim's side too, like I physically don't know if it was capable for Katura, Jake, and Bruce to work together. Like without
I don't
that
think it
slipping,
is.
you need that plan to not have a single crack. Like
No
cement
crack.
slathered everywhere. No crack.
You almost have to just like be like, you almost have to say like, don't talk to anybody, just vote who you want to vote for. Like who makes the most sense, and don't talk to anybody, and then hopefully everyone just does it.
Yeah, you need
You
to
know?
sequester like Boston Rob, winners at war. Like it's like
Yeah, buddy strategy.
like
But that's what I mean. It's like there's
buddy
no way
system.
that group
Sim,
can
I
survive.
understand that, but like it's also the mentality of like start take some swings. It's like I that's the other thing, Sim. It's like
Simi, what I predict
your
right now.
your argument I understand. The problem is that I don't think she necessarily goes home. I think there's the best players do this move and also portray it in a way where they're able to cover themselves from
What I predict, Simi, this is where my problem with this whole conversation is. I think that there's going to be a lot of fodder next week. I think there's going to be a lot of Julie, Austin and D. Oh, I don't know if I could try. And then Jake's going to go home, and that's what's going to happen.
That would.
I'm just saying it.
I
It's-
agree.
and you know what the
Sucks.
craziest thing that could possibly happen next week is Katura goes home. Like there's like
I don't think that's true. I think
I just
somebody from Reed
I
would go home.
think
you
it's
guys see
pure.
the preview?
Yeah,
The preview was just
Yeah, but
showed
sometimes when
nothing.
they do
The
that,
preview showed absolutely nothing other than
I think-
them like about to fuck.
potentially.
Yeah. They're in love. What can you do?
Do you actually?
I don't
think
know.
that
Do
they're
any of them
gonna-
have
do you-
significant others? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Do you think
I
that
didn't know
they're?
that Emily had
Do
a
you think that
significant
they're
other
going
until-
to? Like, not. I'm not saying that, but like, do you
It
think they're gonna,
looks
like, get together?
it looks gushy. It looks gushy.
They've been doing a lot of like whispering.
Yeah, and hugging. A ton of hugging.
A lot of hugging.
Yeah.
I think it's so funny that like humans just can't. They know it's bad. They cannot help it.
What?
Well, they're two good-looking people. I think they're
The hugging and how touchy they are. It's like everybody can see what's happening.
You're saying it's obviously not the right move strategy wise, but
They
like
know it's a bad move. They're both smart players.
But doesn't that make it like almost more, Simi, like more desirable? It's like
Did
Sean
you
Combs.
guys not form a soft spot for Bruce?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, not that much, and I'll tell you why.
I did. Yeah.
I think it was last week's episode when he learned about the Kelly thing.
Well, I didn't give a fuck
And he
about
was
that. Like he was like, I don't know why we like.
He learned about the Kelly thing and he got all upset about it.
I kind of liked it.
okay,
It was a human
You're
moment.
gonna change- Show me you're gonna change your behavior, and like nothing. You know what I mean? Like it didn't seem like he gave it about 10 minutes of self-reflection.
He
and
seemed
then
like he
said,
was just like hit by a train. He was like
he
completely
was stun locked.
stunned. I thought it was
Yeah.
real. I thought it was a real human moment. I think he realized. I mean, Drew was the one that I think articulated it well. Was like he's been playing in a fantasy game and like he's been like kind of confronted with reality. Now he has to pick whether or not he wants to stay in fantasy land or actually like look at the reality.
The problem
You know?
is these Reba 4 have literally everybody in like a fucking shitstorm. Like they didn't like when they voted out Kendra, like Bruce signed on immediately. He's like, I don't want to be And Jake said tonight, he's like, I don't want to be connected to Bruce. Jake, your only path now is to be connected to Bruce.
That's what they're
Bruce.
missing. That is what they're missing.
This
There's
was
no other
brutal.
option.
This
There's
was
no other-
brutal.
The other options
That's
are
what it
taken.
means. That group can't work together. They
But
just, they're
But they
incapable
don't
of it.
realize that the other options are taken. They're
Yes.
all accounted for. They already have dates to the prom. They're already going
It
there.
doesn't matter that the options are taken because they cannot see it.
But what I'm saying is that I get what you're saying, that they can't see it. Obviously, it's evident that they can't see it because they're making these decisions. But I'm saying that they keep pretending that the game is going to come to them somehow, or like Drew is magically going to drop Austin and go to Jake and say, not only will I use you as a vote to get rid of Austin, my number one ally, but then we're going to be number one allies, and you're going to have something to tell the jury when we get there in the end. It doesn't work that way. He's already
I
at a
know.
loss. It's done.
God, am I?
You know, it's done.
Listen. Am I negative Nilly? But like, does this season have any path here?
To becoming a good season or a great season?
A good season.
I don't know.
Like-
I think Emily had a shot this week.
Crazy shit could happen.
What?
I think Emily.
Unlikely.
What you
ahead.
saying? What to him?
Where do you put where do you put this in the 40s?
Out of the 540s,
It's better.
I put
than
this second to
43.
last.
It's better than 43.
Yeah, that's it.
I think it's better than 41.
No.
yeah, I think it might be better than 41 in my brain, but maybe that's a recency bias. 41 is
Erica.
original Hourglass, yeah, Erica.
Yeah.
I think
Maybe.
I like this better. 41.
44 kicks its ass.
Yeah, and 42 does too.
Agreed.
And I think 42 was still fun.
I liked 42. I've been saying.
But all of
I've-
these
I've-
seasons have left something to be desired.
Yeah, but we know that. We know that.
There are systematic issues that need to be fixed for any of these seasons. It needs to be 39 days. It needs to be 2 tribes.
I don't want to go down this path, but it's just
I know,
Well,
we've talked
listen,
about
we,
it 1,000
we,
times.
we didn't get to talk about the Kelly episode, but there were some parts of the Kelly episode that I thought were amazing.
oh,
And I
the
wanted
Kelly
to s-
episode was fantastic.
I thought the way that it was edited was brilliant. The way that
Yes.
her name came up was like old school Survivor, and it was just like,
Yes.
oh damn, this is her. Like I knew it was
Yes.
coming. I'm like, God damn it, it is her. The way that Jeff stabbed the rice during the rice negotiation
Yes.
was
That
all
was
time.
sick.
That was an epic scene. I thought that was sick.
No,
It was like
I-
without a doubt, like
I agree
know.
though, but it ends up being a flash in the pan.
We didn't talk about either. I liked the auction was, I thought, great.
oh, the
Yeah.
auction, great.
Yeah.
I love
it was
the thing,
innovative.
Like if you're left with the most money, you know.
I understand that, but we are.
I thought it was great.
We are struggling for moves like that for whatever reason it is. We are struggling for moves in any type of consistency, and it doesn't have to be 50 million moves at once. I'm not arguing for that, but gosh, and sometimes the
Kel-
numbers just shake out this way, where it's just a powerful 4 runs through, mows people down, and it is what it is. But
Yeah, Kel, you're envisioning Emily telling Bruce not to play his idol as a move that she will tout, and I think it's.
I think
agree
that's
with
the
you.
only
It's-
to play Simi's argument. That's the only thing that comes out of this.
the thing that takes away from it though is that Bruce would have just been voted out next week. You know, like it's like it was an inevitability that Bruce was getting voted out by these 4 people. You know, like
Wait, say that
it's
again?
great that it's great that it happened this week. But if he played his idol and then lost immunity next week, he would have gone next week. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's a move that like was gonna happen no matter what. So it's like
Yeah, it's as if Bruce's idol really had. I think the bigger point you're missing is saying that Bruce's idol played just would have sent Jaco. Who cares?
mhm.
Yeah,
Who
well, it
cares?
sucks. It sucks
Yeah.
because it's like, oh, great, you voted out a goat that you could have brought with you.
Yeah, that too.
Great move.
All right, let
This is
let
the guy that you wanna
let
get.
let's sign this off with a little bit of hypothetical. Like,
So far,
how does
guaranteed
Drew?
getting voted out.
Like,
Kale, we're live.
how does Drew
He's thinking. Let his brain work.
flip this? How does Drew flip this? And the smaller the numbers do like Austin is safe at 6 and 5. You have to understand that. So Austin is only at risk next week.
That's why Reba has to implode in some way next week.
No, it doesn't necessarily have to. If Drew thinks he's good with Austin and D thinks he's good with Austin,
That's what
it
I'm
has to be on
saying.
the
That's
back
what
of
I'm
Mama J. That's it.
I think Drew's ideal final three right now. Obviously, when I say ideal, like he could take Katurah and he could take Jake, and that would be great. But like I think the realistic path for Drew is to beat Austin and to beat Mama J.
Yeah.
I think they got to get rid of D. I think that's their goal. I think Austin probably thinks it's the same thing except get rid of Mama J and keep D.
Listen,
And I don't know if that's correct, but I think that's what he wants
we'll
to
start
do.
to dive into speeches and whatnot. But I understand that you're saying that the edit's not been good for Austin. I agree with it, but Austin's been the best player. I'm sorry, he's been the best player. You can talk about
He's eating. Yeah, he's getting everything.
yeah, without a problem. He's now won an immunity. He has the 2 immunity idols that he got in good fashion.
He earned.
He earned. He orchestrated the amulets with the help of people, right? And he relayed all this information back to Drew, so Drew can lay claim to it all. But from survivors accumulating resources standpoint, I mean, Austin's been second to none.
Yes, a fact. Does that matter?
I think so. I mean, you're voting Drew versus Austin right now.
I personally am voting
Depends
Drew.
on the speech.
I don't think you can lay a vote at all right now without seeing how those idols unfold, which we will,
Yes.
obviously.
Yeah.
Of course.
Like if Austin uses
But
it at his own will. But again, like I don't even know.
Here's the
like,
worry, though. It's like, is there a
like if Austin plays it on himself and saves himself twice, Austin wins this game, Toast.
It's true. No, you're not wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
Well, I guess what I'm wondering too is like, is there a world where the idols get played at 6-5, but nobody votes for him, and then it's like you get to the end?
That would be the
It's
best
like,
thing
I'm
for
the
the other
brains
Rebus.
behind the-
That would be the best
means
thing for
like-
the other Rebus.
Like that's a real path for Drew, and then Drew just goes, "I'm with Austin here at the end, but I was the brains. He just collected all the shit."
Yeah, but if you're looking at it,
But
from
if
Kale's
I'm Austin,
perspective-
I'm not giving these idols away. Is the thing. I'm specifically because Reba, all 4 of them know I have both. So it's like, I'm not giving them away because they'll know when I give it away. So I'm not doing that because that is opening up the chink in the armor. That
you
is
notice
literally
that-
giving the spot.
Did you notice that in the beginning, the recap for this episode, they went to last week and showed Austin giving Julie the idol, and not and then it wasn't addressed, right? So it's like they were like, hey, remember when he did this, and then it wasn't addressed in this episode. So I'm wondering if that might come into play next episode. Like, does Julie still have this idol?
She has to have given it back, right?
Well, why? Well, but why would they give us like a little like snippet from
Nugget,
last
yeah.
week?
Yeah.
Right? Like, is that
Yeah,
kind
I
of weird?
don't
Said,
Or is it just to remind us that he has idols?
but they could have done that in a lot of different
And
ways,
again,
other
again.
than saying he
That's
gave it
true.
to Julie.
But yeah, then maybe he uses. Yeah, I don't
Here's
know.
the other thing,
I don't
Sim.
know.
The other thing is that like, if Emily's not going to work with Katurah and Jake this week, like, is she going to work with Katurah and Jake next week? I don't.
No. My idea was that she was gonna start playing Reba against each other and start playing.
I know, but they still don't even have to do that.
class.
Like, I don't think it's the best move of any of them. I don't even think it's the best move for them to do it because I think they all have paths against each other
Drew's best move would be to get out Austin next week.
because of the 2 idol factor. Yes, right. But if Drew
Yeah.
thinks he has that claim to those idols just as much as Austin does, which he might, then it just might be like they're all, let's let this get down the fire.
If Austin plays like not even like a perfect game from now on out, but like a good solid game, like basically how he's been playing, he's in the final 3. I don't see Austin not in the final 3 right now. He's 1 immunity win away and 2 idle plays away from having to make fire at the minimum.
Here's the other thing.
At the minimum.
We haven't done a pure puzzle in a minute, which is some good puzzle people I'd probably say out there. But from these balance things and whatnot, everybody's struggling. And Bruce was the one that was putting up the biggest fight. I think again we fall in the trap sometimes, but I think Austin has the best chance in all these immunities.
I think today this is like kind of a side point, but today even Leia said it that I think that this challenge was a little skewed towards the men just because of like center of gravity when you're holding yourself up like that. Like women's center of gravity is lower than men's, right?
Yeah, that's a great point.
It's like below your hands.
Although I
below,
will say the post challenge is the opposite.
Which
Every time they throw that hanging around the post challenge,
for sure.
fucks the guys every time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
No, 100%. I mean, Ozzy and Ty are the only ones that are good at that. Every other time it's been a
For a
girl who's
reason.
like done it like really easily too.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, you're right. But it was interesting that all 4 of the women dropped right away, and then all of the guys
Agreed.
hung on for like a
Bad.
long period of time, and then
I
dropped.
think they might have done that because I feel like they did do a few more women winner heavy challenges for a
Yeah.
couple of weeks.
Either way, it shouldn't be anything like any of that, to be honest with you. Do the memorization challenge. That always just gets people going. Like the ship, plant, this, that, thing. I'm doing 7
I
times
like
in a
those
row.
ones.
Those were
Yeah.
great. Those are OGs.
Yeah. Those
I
are
miss
good.
like what was that challenge way back in the day with like the maze and they're blindfolded.
That's
they
a
gotta
good
go
one
through
too.
the whole. That one was sick.
They-
I want more stuff like that.
That's like one that they would do in like the final 4, like
That's true.
a
That's
big
true.
maze
You
with
can't
them.
have that many people go through the maze.
Well, even I'll be honest with you, the breathing through the grate thing, which I just did last season, is a good challenge. That's
I love
you,
that
you
challenge.
do it at your will. like you go as hard as you mentally can in that.
Do you think though that they give a challenge like that after Katora got so like freaked out in the challenge?
Oh no,
Like, I
no,
don't
not
see
this season.
putting that. Even if they were planning on doing that, they're pulling it. You know what I mean?
Well, they were okay
Listen,
with her stepping off. this time.
all right. Let's settle on
Yeah, let's wrap it
percentages.
up. I feel like we're rambling, right? Yeah.
No, we're good. We'll settle on percentages. Katura 0, Jake 0. Mama J's at like sub 5% for me. By the way, like it was painted today, but I just don't see.
Other than
I
relationships
get-
that she's built.
What?
Other than like relationships she's built and like how people view her, I think she's, if anything, done harm to herself with the way that she's treated the jury relative to the other people. Like, I don't think Kendra feels any way towards Drew one way or the other, and her vote could go to Drew, no problem. I think that she would probably have some resentment towards Mama J, it seems, to give Mama J her vote.
Yeah,
which
Kendra made
lends
some
towards what
side
you're
eyes
saying.
there too.
Okay, fine. So Mama J is low.
Yeah, Mama J is in my 5th place. Then it's Emily. Then it's Emily in my 4th place. Austin from an edit. Drew. I'm gonna still have D as my winner pick right now. I do think the edit has not been as strong as others, but it's also still been a good story. And again, if she plays Austin, I think the key to this game is Austin. That's really what it comes down to. The key to this game flows through Austin.
Yeah, but you're even right now you're describing him as the object of this as opposed to the subject, which shows
100%. Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean the edit. I mean Drew just continues to narrate these episodes.
I think I would throw my lot in with Drew right now. I wish I saw this episode as a possible turning point for Emily, where she could take her story from like a growth arc and I mean, a growth arc is great, but it doesn't necessarily mean you win the game. And I think that this was an episode that she could have really taken the reins and made something happen. And Simi, to go back to this one more time, if she had done this she made
me one more time.
No. If she had done this and made a move and then went home next week, I would have been okay with that. I don't know if she would have been okay with that. It seems like she wouldn't have been because she didn't do it. But I would have been okay with that as a story for her because I think it was her best chance of getting to the end with some actual equity. I don't think she has too much equity moving forward right now. I don't think she has a path. I think she has a path to get there. I think the path to win is harder.
I agree, and I haven't really gotten any dialogue from you guys on D. Like, where do you sit? You guys, where do you both situate?
I like D. I just think that D is the face of this for some reason. D is what everybody is looking to as like the person to get out on this tribe, on that faction. And I think that if concessions need to be made at any point, which at some point they will, because it's in the nature of the game that only 3 people can go. If it's easier to convince whoever's left on the outside to vote for D as opposed to voting for yourself, you're going to throw D under the bus.
Well, that aside, though, does D have the better argument of final?
Then Mama J, yes, and
Not
then
just
Austin,
Mama J.
potentially, yes.
The other 3.
Then the other 3, I don't.
Or is the story just the story is still cannot be written until these idols come into play? Is that really kind of what it comes down to?
I mean, there's a lot to play still. I mean,
well, I want to hear from you though, Kale. Like, what story are you imagining that D is telling over these other?
I think it might just rest in the potential here. It just might rest in the potential. I think she wins out the Austin tug of war with Drew. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think the thing that I keep thinking about with D is that
it's not a bad guess. Honestly, it's not a bad thing to speculate that she wins this tug of war where Austin with the 2 idols.
I do want to see just quickly.
I think so too. Even just from a perspective of Austin being like, oh, maybe Drew's story is too similar to mine too. Forget that whatever. The thing that I keep thinking about with D is that it seems like to me, and maybe this is just an edit thing, but every time somebody wants to like do something with the Reba or convince them of something or work with them in any way, they're going up to Drew and Austin. They're not going up to D.
Are you looking at odds
no
right
one's
now?
ever going
No. I'm looking at confessional count.
Oh, what is it?
Emily's at 11%.
I think
Drew's at 9. Austin's at 9. Then it's Jake and Katora at 7. And then D is down at 6. Julie's down at 4.
That's not ideal.
No, it's terrible, actually.
I didn't think it was going to be. I mean, she has really faded off. D's got to be lower than Mama J, though, right?
No, Mama J is lower.
No, Mama J is less.
Mama J. Huh. I guess just in recent episodes, I feel like I just have not been hearing from D at all.
Emily's confessional count is strong shit now. A lot of it has to do with the pre-merge.
Definitely.
Yeah, but then the finale comes along and like the winner gets like half.
No, listen, yeah, I understand that. You can't make when you see a season like Erica winning in 41, you have no idea, right? But it's, I mean, again, Emily, Drew, and Austin are fucking up there.
Yeah.
And Jake and Katura thereafter, and I just think are you giving either of them a chance?
I think Drew right now. I think it's Drew.
Is Jake or Katura in final 3?
I don't think so. I mean, the only way that happens is if
really
you do.
You don't think somebody tries to bring one of them?
Well, I don't know. I be cautious with making this argument here, Toast, because you don't think so. I'm sorry, you're right. So I was gonna say, if you said one of them does, then it lines up with Simi. That's what I'm saying. Next week.
I think it's reasonable. That's why I'm making these. I think it's reasonable for one of them to go. Like if I'm on this beach, I want one of them.
I understand that, Sim, but it's not angling that way.
But this is what I'm saying. If Drew and Austin both have the belief, whether it's true or not, because it has to be not true, right? Because only one person wins. But if they have the belief that they could both beat one another, they have no reason to take somebody else.
I don't think they're. I don't know why you're so convinced though that they want to. I don't think they necessarily want to be at the end together. I know we haven't gotten like any indication of them like I gotta get
Yeah,
rid
but
of this
Sim,
guy.
to the point.
But
But
I
here's
think they did what
the
smart
thing,
players,
Sim.
they don't.
Sim, when you're still working together, you have the numbers, and there's this piece of the game that you keep alluding to is just survive to the next week. And if on top of surviving to the next week, you also feel you have the best chance against anybody, just survive to the next week should be the priority every single time.
The other thing, Simi, too, is that if it were the case that Drew did not think that Austin was going to go to the end with him, if Drew was not comfortable with the idea of going to the end with Austin, this would have had to come out 2 episodes ago at least, because he would have need to started plotting how to get rid of Austin, who has 2 idols. We have Drew, who has been thinking this entire game through, which we all agree on, would have had to have come up with some sort of idea as to how to get rid of Austin with the 2 idols. It's past that point. Austin is 1 immunity win and 2 idol plays away from making fire.
Yeah, yeah.
I also
you're-
think
you're probably
Drew's
right.
burning relationships too. Like tonight was not a good episode with Drew and Jake. I mean, I don't know with Katura. I do think Drew can fall back on Mama J and Emily, but the problem is that how does all that unfold without Austin catching wind? I don't know. Like I don't see it. I don't see it.
That's what I mean, though. Is like Drew's only opportunity is next week.
Yeah.
It's not even really like it's past. Drew's opportunity to go against Austin. Are you talking about, Simi? It's gone.
I think it's
No,
not,
all
you
it's
know.
it's not it's not completely lost. Austin's
If-
goal is
if
not to
Austin-
play an idol next week.
But
Toast.
I think if you think about it logically, if Austin thinks that he has a shot at these immunities, which he does, I think it makes
that's
sense.
the other piece.
I think it makes sense for him to play an idol next week, regardless. If he doesn't win, he should just play an idol because he knows
'Cause then it's like,
he
I
knows
can-
he has a chance to win the next time. He just has to
at
win
at,
one of
at
the
better
next
odds.
3
At
immunities.
better odds.
At better odds. He
Yeah.
just needs to
Yeah.
win one of the
Yeah.
next 3 immunities. It doesn't matter which one. So if he kind of borrows from himself by playing an idol the first week, that's fine because he still has another idol and he has still 2 more opportunities to get immunity.
Yeah, if you say his odds are, if you say his
He's
odds
gonna-
are 30, if you say his odds are 33%, then he hits it. Then he's odds to get it, right? Because it's 33 times 3.
And I think he has better
Or
odds
plus
just to begin
3,
with.
right?
He just has better odds to begin with because he's competitive in these. But
That's
but
what I'm saying. If you're even putting 33% conservatively, he probably has a higher.
But by playing an idol next week when he doesn't need to necessarily, it's just like incurring debt that he's going to pay off later. It's he's borrowing from himself because he's going to win immunity one of the 3 times, I think. And I think he thinks.
Yeah, listen, I do think there's a piece that this can be interesting down the stretch. So I won't write off the season completely. This should still be interesting with these 4. It's I'm putting my winner stake into D at the moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Drew. I've had him from the beginning. I gotta hold fast with my boy, and I think he's a really smart player. So I think
He's a
Yeah.
bit cocky. I don't know about you guys. He's a bit cocky though too.
I think he is too. But I at this point, with all the data he has, I think he has evidence to back up some cockiness potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, he's played a great game.
I think that's it.
I think that's it. I think in the next couple of weeks, we're really going to start to dig into winter speeches once we see how some of this stuff plays out, and I think we should dig a little bit too into what the jury looks like because we haven't really given that much of a talk.
I don't think this is going to be as crazy of a jury. I do think their choices are going to be a lot harder than they have been in past seasons.
Okay, he's
If-
alluding to it for next week, not this week, not right now.
Yeah. Hold on to that.
All right.
Hold on to that thought.
We'll table that for next one.
As always, great talking with you boys. Even though I got a little bit of the hammer this week, it's all right. You're talking a lot about, can this season even be good? But I am excited to see how this. The rest
No, I
of
am,
it
I am,
shakes
I
out,
am.
'cause, it's not as certain as we've had in past seasons.
I agree.
It's not as straightforward.
It shouldn't be.
So we will see. But I'll talk to you boys next week. Peace.